Welcome back to the ABL review. Here we have week 8 of the South Divisions for season 20. Yeah, really winding down here, just past the trade deadline. I don't remember if any trades happened in the South, but we'll talk about some changes coming up here. But let's hop into our first battle. First battle here, we've got the Texarkana Toxics taking on Josh and the what's this team called? Saginaw Spiritomb. Josh still really trying to find his bearings with, I was going to say the team, but Pokemon in general. He seems to have a hard time grasping some of this stuff. But let's hop into the game. We've got Donphan versus Dragapult lead. This seems like an excellent opportunity. I figured it was going to be a good opportunity for Papcoon to get up rocks here if he had them. There's plenty of clearing on Josh's side of the field. Whoops, let's fix this. Plenty of clearing on Josh's side of the field, but I think it's still probably worth getting him up in that specific matchup, especially because you have Sturdy and all that. But Josh opts to U-turn out and bring in Ogerpon Cornerstone. I think, so worked out, good prediction by Papcoon here. Ice Spinner would hit the Dragapult, also hits the Ogerpon for pretty good damage. So yeah, we'll just get to the next turn here. Venusaur comes out on a Swords Dance. So this feels like a super aggressive read to like just go for the Swords Dance as you think a check's gonna come in. This makes sense for Venusaur to come in on either like a Horn Leech or a Power Whip or something. Now this is where there's kind of some weird plays on both sides. So play on the field, okay? Somebody who would come in pretty cold looking at this would be like, okay, Ogerpon's gonna go for Ivy Cudgel, 100 base power, stab, rock move, +2. It's gonna obliterate this Venusaur. And Papcoon's got to pick something that's gonna go down. Because Screamtail can come in, it's gonna be 2 at KO'd. Donphan can come in, it'll get picked up by a grass move after that. Ogerpon will probably be clean KO'd. Ninetales will, Gouging Fire will. So, gotta pick something to sack to the Ivy Cudgel here, right? Wrong. He goes for Power Whip as the Ninetales comes in. So Papcoon might have been deciding to sack the Ninetales, get up Sun, come back in with Venusaur and threaten this thing. That may have been what was going through Papcoon's head. But he looks like a genius because he predicted the Power Whip, which hits everything on this team weaker than Ivy Cudgel would have. So now the other crazy thing is here, Ninetales is slower than Ogerpon, so Ogerpon could have followed it up with an Ivy Cudgel and KO'd the Ninetales. Would have been fine. But instead he decides to leave, go into something that can't handle this, and he goes into the Excadrill and barely lives, and then you see the Leftovers recovery. Okay, so now the Ninetales just gonna go for the Flamethrower, finish off the Excadrill. No, the Ninetales switches out. I don't understand what's happening in this game. Nobody's taking KOs that are provided to them. Now, granted, this is like okay for like Donphan's a fine switch. It's not really gonna take any damage, but also you didn't have to switch out. Earthquake's gonna come out, do a ton of damage, but he's gonna be able to live this following up Earthquake and KO with Ice Spinner. Pretty safe versus this team. Powdon's going to come out, take a little bit of chip damage from the Ice Spinner, pick up the KO there. And now we're going to see the Ogerpon come in, obviously force this out. Ivy Cudgel, see, it's a strong move. Papcoon with some accidentally very toxic behavior here. So, yeah, we were talking about this in the chat while watching. It's just like, man, he needs to bait out a Ivy Cudgel to get into Tatsugiri. Maybe he can, like, Rapid Spinner Draco, or like Rapid Spin and Draco, or just straight up Draco, to be able to kill or do some damage to this Ogerpon. But not the case. He doesn't take the bait. Tatsugiri now comes out, is going to take this knockoff, and there's the Draco. Does pretty good damage. So if he could have done that beforehand and not lost a whole ass Snorlax. And then, Hornleech is going to come out. He's going to be able to finish it up there. But this Ogerpon is sitting quite pretty. Goes for I think that's the Spiky Shield's smart because it kind of A, allows him to scout, and B, if he goes for a U-turn, he gets some damage, which is great. Now we're going to skip a couple turns here because this is just going to be Screamtail bulking up in front of this Hippowdon that just realistically can't do any damage to it. So let's just skip ahead, and then as he shows off the Ice Punch, he's going to be able to do a ton of damage. I thought this thing had Drain Punch or something. I thought we'd see that at some point. But that's not really going to help it there. Ice Punch comes out, KOs the Ogerpon. Now what should happen is this likely Specs Dragapult should come in and go for Specs Shadow Ball. And look, there's no Ghost Resists here. So Specs Shadow Ball, some lucky crits or something. I don't know, could change the tide of battle. But we just we just go for a Draco Meteor against a Fairy type. Josh obviously still learning Pokemon types and immunities, something he really needs to work on. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this battle, and definitely keeps Papcoon in the running here for playoffs. So next we're gonna go over to a battle with big time playoff implications, and let's talk about this here. Got Meowscarada is gonna lead off with the we've got Kyle and the LA Kingdra taking on Michael and the Santa Fe Suicune. I'm learning these teams. I'm getting there. You think after a whole season it'd be easy, but easy triple axle switch in. This is like a real safe switch in to Incineroar pretty much every time. Landorus comes in. He's gonna get his Life Orb knocked off. Protect on the Earthquake. Okay, everything's looking pretty normal from this Landorus here. He's gonna go into the Altaria as he eats a Sludge Wave. So, Sludge Wave. Kyle really cooked on a set here. I'm going to talk about it for a minute. Because look, like, some sets, some people overcook, leave it in the microwave too long, and it ends up being an abomination. Do think Kyle knew what he was doing when he made this set. So this is like mixed offensive Landorus. I think we see all the moves from it. We see, we'll go through it later, but the Sludge +2 Sludge Wave, he's got Nasty Plot spoilers, is able to KO Rotom Mow. So I think that's why that was there. Then he's got some other tricks for some other Pokemon left on the team, which we'll see later. Rotom Fan's gonna come out. Oh boy, a lot of stuff's happening. Sunny Day comes out there. I don't really get the Sunny Day play at all. I don't get that one. Okay, I'm not gonna stand behind that. Then the light screen goes up on Kyle's side of the field, and then as the light screen goes up, we got a hard switch into Clodsire. I don't know why it happened so fast in the replay there. And then Stealth Rock goes up from the Clodsire as the Reflect goes up. There, now we're caught up. Landorus is going to come out. He's going to try to, and then he's going to try to scare this Clodsire out, but he catches the Great Tusk, gets the Photosynthesis. I mean, obviously that's why, I guess, that he decided to go hard Sunny Day, like manual Sunny Day, because this, I believe, is also banded Great Tusk, and like that does a pretty good amount of damage for being a resisted, I think also maybe, no, not -1. But through the Reflect and everything, it's going to allow this Landorus to set up. I got that Nasty Plot up. Sludge Wave is really going to threaten the Altaria here. I kind of wish he would have just KO'd the Landorus because... Okay, and then we get a Poison on the Sludge Wave here. So now we're going to see... This Landorus has Focus Blast that Kyle said was supposed to be able to KO Glastrier at +2. Granted, Life Orb and everything, but that's not in Life Orb range. Either this is like Assault Vest Glastrier or... Calyrexless Ice, by the way. Very good nickname. Also, Kyle nicknamed all of his Pokemon. We got Rotom Fa, Landorus Theria, Meowscarada. No? Very, very smart nicknaming there. The Avalanche is going to be able to take out the Landorus Theria, and this Calyrexless Ice is going to be able to hold on here at 1 HP. Meowscarada is obviously going to U-turn out. Get the KO there. I don't know how I feel about getting KOs with pivot moves. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I on one hand, your opponent's going to be able to have an advantageous switch in no matter what. I guess you just have to think, like, is the Pokemon I'm going to be pivoting into better than, like, does it create a more favorable matchup than anything else I can really go for, or no? So that's it. I don't know. It's something I think about sometimes. Moving on, we got Great Tusk coming in. It's going to be able to outspeed the Rotom Fan, go for Rock Slide, KO it. Meowscarada's going to come in. This is an easy flower trick. Obviously, crits here on the Incineroar. Does a little bit of damage, but really nothing it can't handle, especially with the Fake Out. Going to be able to chip this down, get a little bit of health back. Goes for the Protect here, gets even more health back. Shows off the low kick here. I don't know how much that would have done. I don't think it would have KO'd, especially because he's already used his Protein, so it can't be stab. So, I don't know, but it's an interesting call there to go for low kick. But he's going to be able to get a U-turn out here, get a bit more favorable matchup. We got the Great Tusk coming in. Going for knockoff here, I'm guessing just because the Archaludon might come in on the Rock Slide. But unfortunately, he's going to get Will-O-Wisp here. If he goes for a Rock Slide there, this is a pretty different battle because that means we don't have a burned Great Tusk Dino Fan. And then we'll talk about what happens after that. So we see the Shell Smash go, right? As the rocks go up. Gunk Shot, not very effective, but is going to break that weak armor. And now this is +2 speed, +2 attack, +2 special attack, -4 defense? -3 defense, excuse me. -2 special. So Stored Power is obviously going to come out here, okay? I'm going to slow this down just a little bit. So easy KO there. That crit definitely didn't matter. Now Incineroar is going to come in. Now, this is where we run into a problem, and it's a problem we're addressing. So we see the Poltegeist Terra fighting. Now, when I was watching this, I'm like, okay, so the Incineroar is going to be able to come out and wall this thing. It's going to be Stored Power, maybe Giga Drain, maybe Shadow Ball, maybe Giga Drain. At that point, the Incineroar is going to be able to live, and it's going to be able to KO this Poltegeist, but he's still not in a great spot from there. I think Archaludon has enough tools to win. Meowscarada's still alive. The Goldengo, even though it hasn't hit the field, doesn't have a lot of great matchups remaining, okay? So let's leave it there. On the other hand, I was like, I know that he's just going to have to go for Shadow Ball, get as much damage as he can, because he can't Terrasilize. We wouldn't have let Poltegeist Terrasilize, which is right. You go over to the draft board. I don't know if it's framed up right. Here we go. You go over to the draft board, you look at the Terra Band, and look, there's Poltegeist right there. Not allowed to Terrasilize, but sometimes I forget to check, okay? And I don't think about it. I assume when coaches submit things to me, they've already checked. So we can head over to the actual teams, and we can see that Poltegeist now is underlined, but at the time it wasn't. He did select it as a Terra Captain. So, twofold. That's on me for not stopping that transaction from going through. I'm going to take responsibility for that. I should have stopped that from happening, but I didn't. But also, please, before you submit stuff, please double check and make sure that you have legal Terras that you have submitted me, because I don't want to. It's a double check, because if I'm clearly prone to fucking up. I've done it twice now this season, 3 times actually, and I think it changed the outcome in 2 games. So it's in your benefit to check, because it's something that I am clearly missing, so I don't want to cost you a game because of that. I don't like it. I don't like that it happened. So we can go ahead and get back to this battle. Replays, there we go. So from there, this Poltegeist sweeps, but it's all for naught, because this game is, from turn 26 on, is void. So, a couple arguments here, because I don't think, even if this Poltegeist hadn't Terran, if it had stayed Ghost, done a little bit of damage with Shadow Ball, gotten KO'd, I think Kyle wins from this position. I really do. And Mike said the same thing. He's just like, look, I don't know if I win. I don't know if I want to take the win. After some discussion, he ended up just taking the win, because, like, this is the rules. This is the way it goes. Kyle argues that +2 just raw Terra Blast would have KO'd the Incineroar. I'm not... that's probably true. I didn't run the calcs. And if not, it does enough damage to maintain the fact that he didn't need a Terra to get the KO. But also, I don't know that a lot of people are just running raw Terra Blast on a Pokemon that they're not Terra-ing if it's not normal type. So that's kind of a hard thing for me to wrap my head around. But this is a big battle, and the fact that Kyle has a loss here because of this is unfortunate. But we'll move on to our next battle, which thankfully is no controversy. We've got Zeng taking on Darren. Darren with his kind of new look Sun team taking on a team with Torkoal. Let's see how it goes for him. Gonna hop into this. We got Mandibuzz taking on the Grafaiai. I'm surprised about this because Mandibuzz can't be toxic by this prankster Pokemon. But obviously, just like Cobalian's a great pick anyways because Steel with Justified and Fighting type. This takes on the Grafaiai very well anyways. As a substitute goes up. Goes for knocks off what? Leftovers? Yeah, leftovers. A little unfortunate. That Zen Headbutt miss doesn't matter because he hard switches out right here. That Zen Headbutt crit is also kind of irrelevant just because such little damage. We're going to see a lot of T-Wave and Paralysis in these upcoming games, so stay tuned for that. I don't know how I feel about the fact that against this team, Zeng brought Torkoal because I think that the weakness of Darren's team is the fact that it's a Sun team where its Sunsetter is Vulpix. If you give him a Sunsetter, you're basically giving him a free 7th Pokemon. I understand that it's pretty important to your Walking Wake to have Sun, but I think Walking Wake functions as its own Pokemon better than Sandy Shocks and Slitherwing function as their own Pokemon outside of Sun. I think Walking Wake didn't need the Sun to do well. So I think you're giving your opponent basically a 7th Pokemon if you bring Torkoal. That's my thoughts. So the Wing's going to come in. You got these two Sun abusers that are just causing a... they're getting Zeng trapped in the Vortex here. See another Volt switch into the Corviknight here. Love this play here, okay? I love Endeavor to take the Corviknight down. I love the Rocky Helmet because obviously he's thinking Ceaseless Edge, Stone Axe, Nuzzle, stuff like that. Corviknight's perfect to wear down this Smeargle. And also the other thing that Smeargles run a lot of time is Spore. This paralysis on the Corviknight is actually super helpful because now it can't be put to sleep. But Endeavor, really good call here. He's going to be able to take something down really low, but the Rocky Helmet ends up taking the Smeargle out there. Really, really cool play. I mean, good play by both of them that results in a cool moment. Walking Wake's going to come out, really be able to put the pressure on. Darren, I think, smartly doesn't switch out into anything. He has switches, but it's this Corviknight is not useful now, right? I'm just gonna let this go down, burn a turn of Sun. We're running down the Sun turns. Let's use it. Sandy Shocks is gonna come out, get that speed boost, good EVing to have it get the speed boost, get some good chip damage. Going to Cresselia is gonna be able to take advantage of. Well, Cresselia's a great Pokemon because it's just so bulky that you can make it to check anything that's not a Dark or Bug or Ghost type. You can just design it to handle it most of the time. Plus, with the Sun being around, if it clicks Moonlight, it gets 2/3 or 3/4? I can't remember. I feel like it might be 3/4 of its health back. So, renewable resource in Cresselia here. Cobalian's going to come in on an unfortunate Thunder Wave. X-Scissor comes out. That's not going to be enough to deal with Cresselia, even if he wasn't paralyzed and he had stayed in. That's going to do 30% maybe? I don't know. With the Walking Wake trying to wear down this Cresselia, Moonlight's going to give it 50% back since it's not in the Sun. Iron Boulder's going to come in on another Thunder Wave, unfortunately, and at this point, the battle's out of hand for Zeng. The paralysis sucks, but I don't think it matters, because unless he'd have to SD X-Scissor, maybe even get a crit on Cress. Cress is so bulky, just to have a chance at that point. And even then, there's just so much priority. With the Sucker Punch from this, potential First Impression from Slitherwing, Iron Boulder wasn't going to be able to hang on in this battle. But yeah, that's gonna be a big win for Darren down the stretch here in the penultimate week of the season. Oh, sorry guys. And unfortunate loss for Zhang, who is kind of still fighting in the playoff race. We'll take another look at that coming up here. But Darren's gonna get the win with this kind of newly retooled Sun team. I really do think that, like, because look, Torkel gave this guy the Sun again. It's provided a lot for his team, and I think if these two are to meet in the playoffs again, that's something Zhang has to really watch out for. Oh, but I don't have anything queued up. Ignore that. I remembered to get stuff set up. Discard projects. Yes. Okay. Move this over here. You see nothing. Nothing's happening. Okay? I want everyone to know that. Recent files, drop spin. And now it's time for our marquee match of the week.
Marquee match of the week. Now we have a theme.
I believe it played. I'm not wearing my headphones this week. I forgot to cue that up. So yeah, let's talk about our marquee match of the week. We've got Dakota taking on Tyler, two of the veterans in the South here. Tyler came out in season 4, so this is like the oldest matchup we could have had here in the South. So Tyler and Dakota both right in the heart of playoff contention. Let's see how this goes. We got Galarian Weezing leading off against the Raikou. Easy switch into Quagsire for Dakota. The rocks go up? Yeah, spikes go up here. So yeah, spikes go up here. That's good. Rillaboom's gonna come out against Quagsire. And Tyler goes for knockoff. This is incredibly non-characteristic of Tyler, who typically just attacks whatever is in front of him with the strongest possible move. But Tyler making a rare calculated prediction here, and Dakota doing one of two things: either making a very dumb play, which I don't think it is, or just thinking Tyler is the play's too obvious. He's gonna overpredict. Because every other Pokemon on his team switches in super well to a grass move. So it makes sense that Dakota would probably go like, he's going to overpredict. He's going to U-turn or knock off. Oh, no, never mind. He had Focus Sash. I didn't realize. I didn't catch that the first time. We're going to go ahead and get the Toxic off. See, Grass God's going to come out here. Not going to do much damage. And then he's going to U-turn out, do a little bit of damage in return. Phesandipity's going to come out, U-turn out there. We got a lot of switching going on here, but Latios is here. No Psychic resists on this whole team. That's going to be rough. Luster Purge is going to easily KO the Pheasantipity. Sneasler's going to come out. That screams Choice Scarf. And he gets the U-turn poison there. Rillaboom's going to come out. This is also going to go down to a Luster Purge, but Sneasler's going to be able to come out and follow it up with another U-turn. But unfortunate, we got the Rocky Helmet, Static Para, but we got the Poison Touch back. Lots going on in that turn. A U-turn to a Zapdos resulted in a lot of change there, because I think that's big. If this Sneasler doesn't get paralyzed, it has a really good matchup versus a lot of the stuff left. But he's lost a lot of use out of that Pokemon. Granted, he's behind, but I think this really sinks him in a big way. Raikou's going to come out, and Tyler takes a little bit back here by getting that extra sensory flinch, following up with another one. I think this has got to be Specs, right? No, it's not. Okay, look at that. Hard Volt switch out into the Braviary. Honestly, like, probably good. Braviary has a bad matchup here, so honestly, like, oh, I didn't read this. That's funny. Yeah, this is a really hacksy game. Lots going on here. This is probably, honestly, a good trade for Tyler. Like, the recoil damage and stuff versus what Braviary was actually going to be able to do. Probably worth it. I just don't get I guess all the extra sensors are for, like, some of these Pokemon, but if he got a flinch here, would have been super big. But nice Terra by Dakota with the Decidueye to live the hit there and then go for the Terra Ground, take it out. Smart. I think it was really smart. Sneasler's going to come out. Obviously, Choice Scarf gets paired. Would have gotten a KO there, likely. Would have brought this a little bit closer. Trailblaze not going to be able to take out the Azumarill, as the Ice Spinner is going to be able to take out the Decidueye in return. But we're just going to see an explosion from Weezing to very safely pick off the Azumarill, giving a 2-0 win for Dakota. This battle's not as close as the score shows here. Dakota was in pretty good control throughout the whole course of the battle, but even with that loss, Tyler still has a winning record going into the final season, so I'm very excited for him there. But it's time to go take a look at the standings. So, last week, everyone was at 4-2. Pretty much everyone was at, everyone was at 4-2. Oh geez, hold on, let me fix this. That's embarrassing. Can I edit this in a way that's gonna look nice, just so that way we can see everything closer? There, that's nice. Okay, so everyone was at 4-2 last week. We did have a Week 9 game already happen, and that is reflected on here. A Week 9 game happened on Thursday, so I know I'm late putting out the podcast and stuff, but man, they really blitzed that one out. Okay, so the only two teams that are 100% out of playoff contention are Connor and Josh. They got no hope of making playoffs. There's no end game for them here. That's it. Okay. So they're out. Michael beat Darren in a game that I'm not going to go over on this, but I'll put out next week. 10 days after the battle happens, probably. So Michael and Darren already played. Michael got a win, letting him finish his rookie season at 6-2, giving him a really locked into playoffs at this point, and honestly giving him a nice potential to go to the North next season. He's only got to win. I think this guarantees him a first round bye. Yeah, this guarantees him a first round bye. He's only got to win one game to be able to go to the North next season. That's pretty exciting. After that, we've got Papkin and the Texarkana Toxics. They have a tiebreaker over the Kingdras, and they're a game ahead, but Kyle has 2 games to play, so they're really only a half a game ahead. So Texarkana needs a win this week. I forget who they're playing. Playing Dakota. So with a win, Texarkana can stay in the playoffs. And here's the good thing. Only one of these 7 teams is going to miss playoffs, so everyone, even with a loss, still has outs. Tyler plays both Connor and Josh. Should be wins for them, those have been teams that are very much struggling. Kyle's been mostly playing good. So we'll see how those go. With a loss for Papcoon, that puts him down. But if Kyle splits one of his games versus Connor and Josh, and Papcoon loses, he still has the edge over Kyle. Now, do both of these teams beat the Oakland Galators? So with a split and a loss, who's Tyler playing? Tyler's playing Zhang. Then both of these teams make it in over Tyler. Tyler, despite his hot start, may still miss playoffs. Tyler needs a win to get in just because of who has tiebreakers over him. So Tyler needs to win to get in. Zhang is threatened by both of these teams down here as well. Needs to finish with better records than them to stay ahead of them. And then they all have top 3 teams all have wins over Zhang. Only 2 of the Dakota's playing Texarkana this week. LA has wins over the top teams here, but it's got 3 losses. So I think Tyler's locked out of a number 1 seed. Papcoon still could potentially get a number 1 seed no, he can't. He can't get a number 1 seed because even if he beats Dakota, Darren's got the tiebreaker. He would have priority. Yeah, lots going on. No one's guaranteed playoffs with a win, I think. because everyone's so close. So it's gonna be a wild finish here in the South. So stay tuned Monday. I'll be trying to update this as live as I can, because it's gonna be a crazy ride here. But like I said, let's look at the schedule. So Michael versus Darren already happened. Really close game, really hotly contested, but also some really weird plays in that game. Connor versus Kyle is happening. Kyle is also playing Josh in a makeup game from week 1. So that will be contested then. So still got 4 games to go here in week 9. Got Dakota versus Papcoon. Dakota wins, gets the number 1 overall seed. Big deal for him. So that's exciting. If he loses, I believe the seed might go to Darren. Yeah. So Dakota loses to Papcoon. Darren gets that bumps. Michael gets to maintain this number 1 seed. Darren goes to the 2. Dakota drops to the 3. Is how that would go. I think that's pretty much the biggest combination there. And then these 4 teams fighting for 3 spots. Playoff implications of Zhang and Tyler, we already talked about that. Like, a win means they just need a little bit of help from somebody else to still make playoffs. But, like, a win is pretty securing, right? A loss isn't doom, but there's a lot at stake. Dakota versus Papcoon we talked about. So that's what's going on in the South. So I'll jump over to the draft board here. Oh, geez. I probably didn't have any of that framed, so sorry. So there was a couple of changes. I want to say Michael, as he's been doing, I think tweaked some of his captains, but no ad drops, no trades. Obviously, you can't do trades in the final week, I believe. So yeah, Santa Fe, LA, London, and Detroit all made a couple of tweaks to their Terra captains, but that's it. No big ad drops to look forward to going into the week there. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover. Thank you all for, let's finish the season strong. Hopefully we can get the last 4 games done. But thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.